Wait, do you have an intro for your thing? Like, Joe's Funland. Like, you know what I mean? It goes like, I don't know. Like, I see like some like rainbow, but the rainbow's all kind of like halfly fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's all like.
Ready?
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of Joe's Funland. I'm your host, Joe Ho, and today I am joined with a very special guest. She is a runner extraordinaire, an entrepreneur, a woman of many talents, someone with very, very unique voice.
Yes, some people say it's like Juno.
We are joined today with Kathryn Iwasaki.
Hello.
Oh, you're bringing it a little closer to you.
Oh yeah. Okay, that's better. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's better. Yeah. Oh, did I ever tell you the Joe's Funland, like where I came up with that idea?
No, I want to know.
Oh, okay. Let me tell you. Okay, so you know how like sometimes I think of like really weird stuff, or like I have very like random thoughts and stuff.
Yeah.
So
Classic Joe.
So I have an idea. Speaking of 5-year goals that we were talking about earlier today, one of my goals is I want to open up an amusement park.
Oh.
Yes, it's going to be off of the coast of South Africa.
Okay.
And then we're going to do, all the rides are going to be themed rides of just random stuff that I think of.
Why off the coast of South Africa?
I think their laws are a little more lenient.
Okay,
out there.
that makes sense.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be so cool, like, to like go through an amusement park, but then it's like what I'm thinking in my mind, like all the random thoughts.
That reminds me of like Inside Out.
Yeah,
because then you
that'd
have
be
like
sick.
the fun land where it has like the friends and whatever, and yours just gonna be some like weird, potentially like whatever you decide.
There's gonna be like a Fast and Furious ride.
Which one, Tokyo, or like is there a specific?
Ooh, Tokyo for sure. Tokyo Drift.
Yo.
That would be sick. And there's gonna be like an Olive Garden themed restaurant. Just pretty much all the stuff I like in an amusement park.
I hope that in your Tokyo Drift one that there's like some reference to what is it, the shoes, or actually just kidding, no, take that back, maybe at the beginning of the ride, you know that scene where he's like, do you know what D stands for in like Dekong or Deking?
Oh yeah,
he's like, drift. And he's like, what's drift? And that's when the ride takes off.
What's drift?
Yeah. And he goes like, because it's like right when you start, and then it has that whole little thing, and then like drift, and then immediately begins.
Oh,
to,
that would
like,
be
drift
sick,
off.
actually.
Like from like 0 to like I don't know, 70 miles per hour, and then immediately into a turn that's like drifting, and it goes, and then it goes up.
That would be awesome.
And I think it kind of needs to be like really, really low light too, like in the setting of like a parking garage kind of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Have you been to Universal?
Yeah, I've been as a younger, but never as like an adult, which I really need to go.
Oh, okay. So there's a ride on at Universal called the Hulk.
Yeah.
So like you know how like roller coasters, you kind of go up like a little bit and then you reach the top, and then like it's like slowly coming up, and then once you reach the top they drop you.
Yeah.
So on the Hulk, right? You're riding and you're going up the ramp, and then you're like, okay, the anticipation's happening. Like it's gonna be pretty high up. In the middle of the ramp going up, you're slow, and then they shoot you up really fast in the middle of going up.
In the middle going
yes.
up. Oh my
gosh!
You're
like, what the heck? Because you're not ready for the ride to start, and you're like, oh my god, that was crazy.
Wow.
It's fun.
Okay, then I need to go on it.
You need to do it. That was fun.
Yeah, I just keep going to Disney, but then I went to Disney a bunch of times, and then just have not been to Universal. So I need to go, because it makes sense, because we live all the way in Atlanta, so it's like quick trip down Universal and then come right back.
Yeah, it's not that far.
Yeah,
it's not that far.
All right, let's go. We'll come up with more ideas.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you about technically it is a business idea.
It is.
You started a run club here in Atlanta. And it's called Mindful Miles.
Yes.
And you told me you were struggling with figuring out how to get the logo.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the logo?
Well, so like the name was the hardest part first, and then like logo follows it after. But kind of once you have the name, then the logo is a little bit quicker. But there's already a couple of large like there's bigger run clubs within the Atlanta scene. And so some of them do have the Atlanta name, and you can't just have the same, like Atlanta something. Like there's already Atlanta Track, Atlanta Run, and then what I'm going to do, Atlanta Miles, but like that sounds kind of not great. And then a lot of other clubs that I noticed, they were just like they named after the city that they're in. So like let's say like there's no Johns Creek Run Club, but it's like Johns Creek Run Club, or like Cherokee Run Club, or Brookhaven Run Club.
Oh, so all unoriginals.
Yeah, and I just think that it's
Boring.
like, I think like it just makes it sound more local for sure. But then I did not want the group to just be centered in one place. Like we definitely have room to go to different places and kind of expand beyond kind of our main city that we're in. So then it had to be a name that was nice, and I wanted the group to be very like inviting and calming. And I think running gets a really bad rap for being negative, as we've like experienced this morning. Joe and I went on a run, and for Ahmaud Arbery, and 2.323 miles. But some people start runs, and it's a very intimidating process. And as I've running really means to me, where it gives me a space for like clarity and actually like mindfulness. And I want like other people to feel that too, that it can be very social. It can be very fun. It can push you to your limits, but also can just kind of like, you can just be at this baseline and just enjoy just being active. So I wanted a name to encapsulate like that entire kind of that feeling and that vibe, and not be so intimidating. And so then I went on a walk one time, and I was like, what does like running really mean to me? And I really thought like mindfulness was like really important. And I said, okay, mindful. And then it can't be like mindful run club or mindful something. It's like, it didn't make sense, but I was like, okay, maybe I can just do like an MM. And then I was like, okay, mindful miles. So like, it just came together like right then and there.
Oh, okay.
And then also you have to think, when you're making like a logo and like a theme, like it has to look nice. Like if I want to make shirts and I want to like market it and things. And so like if it looks like well weird and it's hard to like to Photoshop into things, like, so we had to make it look like really aesthetic too. So then like, okay, then I got the mindfulness part, and then I was like, okay, how am I going to display it? What font? So I take a lot of inspiration from coffee shops. I personally don't drink coffee, but I think that coffee shops have really good sense of branding, because like there's some coffee shops that like you can probably name off, even though if we don't like drink coffee, but I love that they can really make their logo and their name like really, really a staple of kind of like their I guess their shop, because you can get like merch from there. And so I thought about all like kind of the dreamy looking, calming coffee shops, and I was just like thinking like, okay, what do they do with like their fonts, and what do they do with their logo? And then I kind of like the fonts that are kind of a little bit more bubbly, so that's kind of how I made Mindful Miles.
So you designed the logo.
I used Canva, so like it's so, I mean, because I don't have anything else.
But you didn't like pay someone to come up with a logo.
Yeah, that came up for me. Yeah,
come out of your brain.
Yeah,
like you were like.
Yeah, I tinkered with it for a long time, and then I found the font, and then I was okay, this is really nice font, and I was like, oh, this reminds me of like I don't know, like very airy. And then I said, oh, like let's put a cloud on there, because then I thought, okay, if you separate the Mindful Mile, the text part, then you can just have the cloud. So that's when I showed you earlier about some of we're in the process of making shirts, and the fact that I can just use a singular cloud, I think it's really, really cute. You could put it on things, and like it's just really nice. So when I tell people that like, oh, I have a run club that's called Mindful Miles, instead of it being like, ooh, like that sounds intense, people are like, oh, that's so nice. Like it's very nice, like it's very easy. And people don't say like, oh, I'm going to Mindful Miles. They always say like, oh, I'm going to Mindful like on Monday, which I really
Mindful Monday Miles.
Yeah. So like literally all our Mondays are called Mindful Mondays.
Oh.
Right?
Oh. Okay.
And then I have future runs that are going to be Mindless Mondays.
I will be going to Mindless Mondays.
Yes. And so like I think you can do a lot with it. And so I think it's very easily approachable. And when I put it together, I like looked at Jeff, my husband, and I was like, this is it. Like I feel good about this. And now like dreams are becoming reality, because now like the shirts are a real thing now, and it's been really, really good.
Nice. I'm proud of you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That is actually really cool.
Yeah, it's been like, I think people who are meant to be like entrepreneurs, like you definitely have like have started and like you've ventured into a lot of your own like passion projects. And for people who have that same mindset where they want to go create something of their own and make it very unique, like there's an idea and it just kind of like gnaws at you for a long time until you're like, you know what, like fuck it, like I'm just gonna go ahead and just do it. And that's kind of how it felt like with me. Like when I finally got into a good place with my job and I felt like I can probably take on extra time to spend on this, then that's when that gnawing and that like that desire, that urge to actually create this thing became louder and louder. And then it came so loud that you're like, okay, I just have to just do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. By the way, for the people listening on the podcast, I know usually we do like an activity with the guests or whatever. Today, technically, our activity was running because we went on a run right before this, which was really hard. And I don't know why we...
Yeah, it was for Ahmaud Arbery. If you don't remember, he was just the black man that was murdered in South Georgia.
R.I.P.
A few years back. Hashtag run with Maud. But he made it to 2.23 miles and before he was killed. And still, like we did a run with a lot of just very historic black running clubs in Atlanta. And so it was very nice. Yeah. But Joe came along. He did it. You were able to push through. And you know what? 2.23 is not so bad.
That's a...
You did it though. You did it.
It was long, but that was our activity for today.
Yes, we did that. We did the activity,
and we did it. We completed it.
Yeah, because I could not do Legos or coloring books or whatever. Like you'll see me draw off the thing or not be able to complete it because my ADHD cannot handle it.
Yeah. But that was a good run. It was a cool run though. It was definitely like cool that people came together. Like And honestly, that's one of the things that I really respect about you is that I feel like you naturally, or at least from like my point of view, you naturally have a way of like building communities around you. Like ever since even like, so you're one of my like first friends when I moved here to Atlanta. Yeah. And like, even since then, you've always been able to like bring people together. Like, I don't know. Has anyone else ever told you that before?
No, literally. I love doing that. I think that I, as a true, pure extrovert, because everybody has like their personality types, and mine is 100% of extrovert.
Extremely. Yes.
I really enjoy like bringing people together, and especially when the activity is going to bring people together to have different experiences and perspectives in positive ways. And so like I think I've done it with my friends where I love to host different events and plan things and I don't know, try new adventures. But then when it really came time to take that on a little bit bigger scale, that's like what I kind of focus all of my extrovert energy on into like this like run club is everything that I am as a person is literally in reflection of this like run club.
Have you always been good at like bringing people together, or is this something that you had to learn?
I don't really know actually, because like I think because I met you when we were both in elementary school.
Right? Really early on.
Yeah, and like I don't think I was like this. Even like throughout high school, like, I would like go to a lot of events with a lot of people, but I don't think I personally like brought people together in that formal way. But I don't know when it like just clicked where I just like woke up and I decided like, no, I'm going to like start planning things and I'm going to start being like really active. So somewhere in college, and maybe it started more aggressively, probably beginning of college, and then like more aggressively got like more in grad school. And then when I finally got out, like had money and had time, that's when it like really shot up. So actually probably when I started having money and then working and there's stability in my life, then I had extra time to start planning and doing those things. So I think maybe it's always been there, but I didn't really have the resources, but now I do. So now it really took off. I would say like since like really during like COVID, like even though I didn't host any parties or anything then, but that's kind of when I started to be like, okay, when hopefully all this is over, that I can like actually start planning the things that I want to do.
Yeah.
And I always enjoy fun, active activities with people. So my friends definitely like, there was always like an event every week or every other week where we're going anywhere from like doing a field day outside to doing like potlucks inside or like cooking competitions or anything that we can think of like I wanted to do.
How do you, okay, let me ask you this then. What advice would you give someone who wants to be more like that? Like, oh, I want to like, host people. I want to like bring people together, but it's just like I don't know how to get started. Like, what advice would you give someone like that?
I think you have to be like very resourceful. So you kind of, and like also like know your strengths and know like your weaknesses. So if you want to like get people together more, you got to find something that number one that you really enjoy doing. I would hate to like host, like I personally don't drink, but like I wouldn't be hosting like events where I'm like doing like I don't know whiskey tasting events, you know what I mean? Like because that doesn't make sense, because I literally am like, oh, I don't know how to set this up, I don't know how to do this, or like, oh, I'm going to organize a bar crawl because like I just don't necessarily know that world and drink. So it's kind of like knowing what event that you could plan very well. And then once you figure that out, then like finding the resources and like how to do that, and then finding the right people who would like actually enjoy and appreciate that event.
Okay. Oh, let me ask you this then, because I've also tried to host events before, and like I've also like I wanted to kind of be like that. Like I love hanging out with people and like building communities too. But I've also planned events in the past where nobody showed up, or one person showed up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I guess I'm just gonna hang out by myself.
That's tough. What was the event?
Huh?
What was the event?
It wasn't really like a formal thing, but it was more of I want to like get people together and like host like a dinner party kind of thing.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then everybody's like, oh, yeah, maybe not me, or maybe not today, or whatever. And I'm just like, okay.
And, it's really disheartening when like you plan something and you like you put all this work and like thought into it, and then potentially preparing for it, and then people like flake and don't show up, and it really sucks, because then it discourages you from wanting to do that, because then like, why did I waste my time? I definitely had that many times, and I think as I've gotten older, more so in the last kind of few years, like I've found ways to make it a little bit more reliable. A lot of people like hate Partiful, but like I use Partiful where like it kind of reminds people, but it does help. Partiful. I kind of just like leave it, like, because I used to like individually message people, and then on top of that, like kind of like keep up with them if they're gonna actually show up or not. And like that's actually really taxing, and then it's kind of like you're just kind of like begging people to come, and then I kind of got to a point where like, whatever, like, you know, you show up, you don't show up, but then hopefully like there's a group of people in your life that like actually will like kind of like be respectful, either straight up tell you that you're not coming, or like be the ones who are reliable and who will come. So I think it's like picking your audience is huge, because then like you don't want to necessarily have your event. It depends on what event. If you want an event that's open to everybody, then you kind of keep it open-ended. But you kind of already have some people in your back pocket that you already know that's going to come. So maybe like if you're going to plan something like that, like make sure that you pick a date before making it like really official, that you know that like your core people can come. And then like you plan it around the rest. Because then if everyone bails, then you still have your friends and or the people that you really wanted to come. And everybody else is kind of just extra.
Okay, what were we talking about?
We're talking about like, oh yeah, how much you don't like Partiful.
Oh yeah. Just Facebook events is just so much easier.
I guess. I think like I don't really think there's any good way around it. Like whether you Partiful or Facebook events or whatever, I think that it's just how you approach whoever you invite. So that's how I kind of approach my things. And if it's going to be like within my home, very intimate, then I kind of make sure that the people who I really want to be there, like, are like going to be coming, and I won't like schedule the event without at least a confirmation that like, you know, XXX person can come. And then you invite everybody else, and then if they can come, great. If they don't, then it's all good. Like actually I hosted a Friendsgiving in my home, and there was like a bunch of people. We had like about 30-ish people, which is already a lot for my home, say yes. And then I had a bunch of people who were maybes, and then like who said no. And then when people kept showing up, more and more people kept showing up, and I was like, oh my God, like what the freak? And then some people came in, and I was like, you said that you couldn't come. And then they brought friends, and so then it timed from like 30, and then it went to like 50-ish. And like, you know,
in your house?
In my house, like we had 50 people for Friendsgiving.
That's a lot, actually.
It's a lot. Honestly, like,
That's overwhelming.
one of my friends, she was like in the corner of like the couch, and she's like, there's too many people in here. And I was like, yeah, this is like the max that like my house can have. And we definitely felt that. But kind of one of those things where like, yeah, if they came, great. If they didn't come, whatever. But when I now like plan for like mindful events, like some of the special events we do, like there's a little anxiety that I have sometimes, like when hosting those, because sometimes now it's like in coordination with like a business or something, or a brand or whatever, and so you kind of want like a good turnout for the event, but also for content too. So I hosted a Galentine's Day event recently. Last Saturday.
That's right.
Yeah, and it was like really terrible weather. Like it was raining and it was really cold. And like my group is with men and women. And then now I just erased all the men. And now I'm just like, hey, any like females, like come and hang out. And so the normal turnout that we have, I'm like, okay, if I half that, and then potentially randos, I had like no idea. I was like, at this point, I wanted like at least 10 people to come, at least for like a picture. It could be like full, and it just looks bad, like when you're gonna have this hosted event and there's like no one who comes.
Yeah.
But then there was like 27 people who came.
That's a good turnout
for
that's not
like
bad.
it like actually like raining and cold, and it was pretty miserable outside. But I don't know, it really touched my heart that like you plan a good enough event that like people will wake up on a Saturday, it being cold, to come out to your events.
27 is not a bad turnout. That's pretty good.
For like the first time that we've ever done something like that, and like still getting your name out there. So I was pretty proud, because I was like, yes. But it just takes a lot of like trial and error. And then again, if people want to be similar to like the traits that I have, it's just really trying to put events that people find interesting. Like, you can't just have the same type of thing. Like, okay, we're going to like eat, drink, and play the same games over and over again. It's got to be a little bit different. And then you got to cater to the right people. Because then if you're, again, a non-drinker catering to drinkers and vice versa, then it's like a little bit of a different event.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You have to just be smart about who you have, what you have, and what things are you willing to like put out of pocket. Or you can get an event where you can get people to put together money so you can have something nicer there. So it's a lot of options.